name is Tarun. Video editing has changed my life, and it can change yours too. You know, Tarun speaks quality, quantity. So hello everyone, welcome back to the class number 3. Right? In the previous class, you edited your first video, which means you downloaded the footages, you downloaded Premiere Pro software, and then you took the footages and got it to Premiere Pro interface. Correct? And after that, you got the same footage into the timeline, and once you got it into the timeline, you cut the gaps. Okay? And after you cut it, you did the basic cuts, you finished the basic cuts, and then you added music to the same footage. And once that is done, you added some text to it, and then you added some backgrounds to the text. And after that, you took this green screen and you removed the green screen. Correct? So basically, at the end of the day, after the second class got over, you edited your first video ever. And we also talked about some of the basics of the Premiere Pro, right? But you actually might have not remembered because I went like so fast in the previous class. So in this class, what are we exactly going to do? We are going to discuss about Premiere Pro interface basics. This is the first thing, and then here we'll be talking about some of the keyboard shortcuts which will make your edit 2x, 3x, 4x, 5x, 10x more faster. Correct? So I don't know, this class is going to be very exciting. We'll first get started with the basics then, and then we'll go to the shortcuts. Okay? So I guess this class is going to be very technical in nature. You see, before I start the class, one disclaimer is that you actually don't need to remember all the terminologies right now. Okay? I mean, I'll be telling so many things inside this class. Some of them might get overwhelming, but just leave it. Because right now, if you're very new to the Premiere Pro, your process matters more than the terminologies. Your process matters more than the words. If you just forget anything at any point of time, just Google it. Everyone has the access to internet, so just use it. Okay? So with that being said, let's get started with the Premiere Pro basics. Okay? Here you have the previous footage which we already had. So this is what you can see right now, correct? And the first thing that we are going to talk about is the panels. Okay? What are the panels? What is panels, man? It's very simple. Okay? You see here, this thing is there, the source wala thing is there, this is a panel, this is a panel, this is a panel, this is a panel. So all these things are nothing but panels. So what are panels? Panels are nothing but, these are the small windows which has specific purpose inside them. For example, this panel, this is the, what monitor is this? I told this in the previous class. What is this? It's a project program. You'll get to know. If you can recollect, then it's good. If you don't, wait for it. Okay? And this one, okay, if you can see here, this is source panel, right? Source monitor it's also called. And then we have the timeline panel over here. And then we have the project panel over here. So these small chunks of things, these are the panels, right? If you don't remember the names, this is what is called. The first thing is called the source monitor, and then we have the program monitor, and then we have the project panel, and then we have the timeline panel. Okay? So these are the names of the 4 things. So now one thing that you actually have to remember is all these panels which are present here, these are movable. Even this point we discussed in the previous video itself. For example, if I take source wala thing, I can move this to some other place, right? Idhar aa gaya. And if I take this, I can get this to here. For example, program monitor, I'm just taking it and I'm dragging it and putting it here. It's movable, right? And I can put this metadata thing over here, right? So all these modifications can be done. Like every panel can be moved from one place to other place. And one of the best things is like you can also disable the panel. You can also delete the panel. So I'm not doing it right now, but yeah, you can also delete it, right? And if you at any point of time forget where the panels are, yaar kya ho gaya, if you just mess up the entire layout, what you'll have to do? Nothing. Simply just come to this Windows wala section, go to workspace, okay? Windows, workspace, and then reset to the save layout. This is what you need to do, and it will get back to the magic. It will get back to the same thing. So what you can see here is that we have different layouts, right? The same panels can be put at different places, right? You can put let me show you. So basically you can put this program panel over here, this panel over here, you can put this panel over here, you can do whatever you want, right? So what did you understand? You can basically change the panel place to one place to another. You can also disable the panel, you can do all of these things. Right, and this is called one of the layout, right? This is called one of the layouts, and we can have multiple layouts of the same. Like you can have like different positions of panels, and each set of this position is called as a layout. And depending upon the stage of the edit, we have different workspaces. What do we have? We have different workspaces. So depending upon the stage of the edit, okay, we'll have multiple layouts, and these layouts are called as workspaces, right? For example, if you get back to the Premiere Pro interface, you see here, okay, we have edit wala thing over here, right? Just a second, where is it? I'm just going to Windows. We have the workspaces. So here we have all panels option, and then we have assembly option. If I click this, you'll be changed to a layout. You'll be changed to a workspace in which it is better for you to assemble the footage. It is easier for you to assemble the footage. Okay. Now let's go to the next workspace. Let's go to audio wala workspace. All these things we already discussed in the previous class itself, but I'm just repeating all of this because we went pretty fast. The previous class was majorly for you to do your first edit. It was not for you to know the basics and layouts, all of those things. This class is to recollect all the previous information we had, and also remember that your panels can be changed from one position to this position, and these panels, when they are at a specific location, those are called layouts, and each layout, okay, with a specific purpose is called as a workspace. Now we just came from the assembly wala layout to audio wala layout, right? This interface is better for audio editing, right? And then we have one more workspace which is called captions and graphics. So this layout that you can see, this workspace that you can see, if you use this workspace, it will be easier for you to add captions and graphics. It is built for it. And then next we have one more panel which is editing wala panel. Okay, so in this way we have multiple panels and you have multiple workspaces. So previously, if you might have been using previous versions of Premiere Pro, you would have been seeing the workspaces to be like this. Like we have assembly wala workspace, we have editing wala workspace, we have color wala workspace, we have FX wala workspace, we have all of these things. So basically, if you work on this assembly wala workspace, it will be easier for you to assemble the footages. If you work on this editing wala workspace, it will be easier for you to edit the footages. If you work on the color wala workspace, it will be easier for you to work with colors and all of this. In this way, we have multiple layouts which are already built inside the Premiere Pro. So all these workspaces that we have, these are customizable according to your needs, right? But for now, what I'd say is that just stick with this edit wala workspace. So just go to window, go to workspace and come to editing, okay? Right? So just work with this. This will be much more easier for you, okay? And if you just mess up at any point of time, at any panel, anything, whatever it is inside Premiere Pro, just come back to this window wala section, click on workspace, and Windows workspace and reset to the save layout. If you do this, all the panels which you have already removed will be back. Okay? And also one more trick which I forgot to tell you in the previous class is that imagine I click on this and I use the tilde option. The tilde option, you can basically make it full screen. You can click on any of the panels that you want, and if you click on the tilde option, it will be full screen, right? And if you click it back, it will get back to the normal workspace. Okay? So this is all about panels, layouts and workspaces. Okay? We'll be talking about how you can build the custom layouts again later, custom workspaces later. We have already talked about it, little bit in the previous class. But okay, previous class is for you to do the first edit. This class is for you to learn the basic Premiere Pro interface. Okay? So once that is done, we'll be talking about the next thing, which is Windows. So let's jump back into the Premiere Pro interface. So you see the source monitor over here, you see effect controls here, you see audio mixers here. So now for you to navigate between different windows, you also have some shortcuts, right? For example, if you click on that Shift 1, you'll be coming to Project wala window. What is that? Shift 1, you'll be coming to Project wala window. And imagine you click on Shift 5, you'll be coming into Effect Controls wala window. For example, imagine I selected this clip, okay, and then I click Shift 1, you'll be coming to Project wala window. If I click Shift 5, you'll be coming to Effect Controls wala window. And then if you click Shift 7, you'll be coming to FX window. So basically these are like the windows and how you can quickly navigate between different things. You don't actually need to click on Shift 1, Shift 5, Shift 7, all those things. You can directly go here and click here. But if you're editing with your mouse on the right hand and left hand just is for like keyboard, at that point of time, Shift 1, Shift 5, Shift 7 will be easier for you to navigate. You don't need to remember it again. I'm just telling you terminologies, all the shortcuts are secondary. Edit psychology is the first thing that you'll have to actually remember, but it will be better if you can remember. Okay, we'll be giving you flashcards after this entire class is over. But for now, let's come back to the same thing. Okay, now as you already got the clarity between what are the panels, what are workspaces, what are windows, how you can shift between different windows by using Shift 1, Shift 5, Shift 7, all of these things. Now let's talk about more technical terms, right? What more technical terms are there here? So there are so many technical terms like ripple delete, ripple trim, enabling the footage, disabling the footage, add edit, markers, labels, in point, off point, and all of this stuff. Right? Just calm down, relax. This class is going to be very technical. I'm telling you again, but just relax. Okay, just listen to me. Okay, this you don't actually need to remember all of these things. I'm telling you again, even I don't remember a lot of this stuff, but I can still edit my videos very fast. Okay. One thing which you'll actually have to remember is keyboard shortcuts, which we'll be talking later. Okay, which we'll be talking right now. But for now, just relax. You don't actually need to know what is ripple delete, what is ripple trim, what is enabling the footage, what is it. You don't actually need to remember the terminologies. Tarun says terminologies का use कुछ नहीं है. I mean use है, but you get my point. It's not the first thing that you have to focus on. ठीक है? Now coming back, let's talk about the first things first, right? What is in point and out point? ठीक है? In the previous video, as I've already mentioned, ठीक है, we had some markers, right? We clicked some markers. We did M to place a marker and all this thing. Let's right now first talk about what are in points and out points. ठीक है? I'll just explain you on screen. ठीक है? Imagine you have a footage. ठीक है? You have this footage like this. ठीक है? This is the timeline of the footage. ठीक है? This is the entire timeline. ठीक है? At this point of time, a person is jumping into a well. ठीक है? This is 0 seconds. ठीक है? You have 0, 1, 0, 10 seconds का footage है. And at 0, 3, third second, this person is jumping into a well. ठीक है? And on the 7th second or something, this person is coming out of the well. ठीक है? Here is one more person. The same person. He came out of the well, fully drenched. ठीक है? Right now, I don't want the entire footage to be there onto my timeline. ठीक है? What do I just want is I want from 3rd second to 7th second. This is the only footage that I actually want to work with, right? So what I'll do, I'll mark this as in point. What is it? I'll mark this as in point, which is the point where the video is gonna start. Okay? And I'll mark this as out point. Okay? And when I import this, after I mark what is in point and out point, when I get it inside the timeline, what I'll be actually able to see is just this part, not the entire part, not the other part. Okay? I'll show you how to do it. Okay? Imagine we have, where is this? Let's come to the first project. I'll click on this, main hai. Okay? This is the entire footage, right? I am taking this and dragging this entire thing into this. Okay? So now I got the entire footage, right? From this point to this point, I got the entire footage. Okay? Now what I'll try to do is I'll try to create in and out points onto this video. Okay? So what I'll do is I'll double click on this so that this video will come onto the source monitor. Okay? And on source monitor we have this timeline, right? The timeline is entirely present. So what I'll try to do is, imagine I want to start it here. Okay? So this thing which is there, this is the mark in option. You mark in, okay? And then maybe I just want till this point. So you create a mark out. Okay? Mark in ho gaya, and then you created a mark out. So now if I drag, okay, I'll just zoom out the timeline a bit. Okay? Now if I drag this footage in, you see the entire footage is, the entire duration of the footage did not come. What came into the timeline is just whatever is present inside the mark in and mark out point. See, that's what I was talking about, right? Imagine we have a footage of 10 seconds ka duration. Okay, imagine we have a 10 seconds ka duration. If I create a mark in point here, in point, and imagine I create the mark out point here, this is out point, and then if I drag it onto the timeline that I have, I'll only be getting this thing. I'll not be getting this, I'll not be getting this. And that's what exactly which happened here, right? You imagine I create the marker, either one, and I create a mark out or here. Okay? Now if I drag this, I'll be getting a very small footage. I'll be getting very small part of the entire footage. So that's how you create mark-ins and mark-outs, right? Basically in points and out points. And there is a shortcut for this. What is the shortcut? You come back to the screen. Imagine here is a place. I click I. Okay? I'm clicking on I. So that created a mark-in. What did it create? It created a mark-in. Okay? Then imagine I'm getting the playhead to this point, and if I click on O, okay? If I click on O, then I'll come to the out point. Now if I drag this entire thing, I'll be getting the entire footage which is present between the in point and out point, right? So that is it. I is for putting the in point and then O is for creating the out point. Okay? Very simple thing, understood? Okay. Now let's come to the next thing. Okay, shortcut bhi ho gaya in and out point ka. So what I'm trying to do here is that I'm explaining a terminology. Okay? If it's an in point, if it's a ripple delete, whatever it is, I'm taking out a terminology, I'm explaining what it is, and then I'm also telling you what is the keyboard shortcut for it. Okay? I'm also telling you what is the keyboard shortcut for it. Right? So now we have finished in and out points. And the next thing that we'll be discussing is more shortcuts, more terminologies. Okay, let's come back to the iPad wala screen. This thing which we just did, right? The shortcut for in and out point, these are default. By default, they're present. If you click I, you did not make any change inside the Premiere Pro interface, right? All you did was you clicked on I and in point select ho gaya tha. You clicked on O and out point select ho gaya tha. So basically these are the default shortcuts. And then we also have some custom shortcuts which we can create for our own better speed. समझ रहे हो? वेरी सिंपल यार. प्रीमियर प्रो में बहुत ज़्यादा ऑप्शंस हैं, ठीक है, बहुत ज़्यादा टर्मिनोलॉजीज है, ठीक है. पहले हम we discussed about what panels are, what workspaces are, what layouts are and everything. And now what we are trying to do is we are trying to know what is the terminologies. For example, what are the terminologies? And terminologies का default, by default इसका what is the shortcut. And अगर if we can create something on our own, मतलब अगर हम custom shortcuts बनवा सकते हैं. So that's what we are talking about. ठीक है? So as I just told you, we can also create custom shortcuts. So how do we create it? Right? Again, jumping back into the screen. So if you go to the Premiere Pro का button, ठीक है? If you click on this Premiere Pro, we have keyboard shortcuts. You click on it, and then you'll be able to see this beautiful, very well designed keyboard with purple and all of these things. So one good thing about this entire interface is that if I click on I, it will actually show me कि यार I से क्या होती है basically. For example, here we are. I click on I, it will show me I is nothing but mark in point, right? So for any of the keyboard shortcuts you want, for example, imagine I'm searching for R, okay? It will actually show me when you click on R on your keyboard, it will show me what R is for. It is showing rate stretch tool. Right? Similarly, if I click on I, it will show me what I stands for. It stands for mark in point, right? And similarly, imagine if I click on Q, it shows me what Q stands for. So basically, any shortcut that you want to know about, you can directly come to Premiere Pro. You can click on keyboard shortcuts, then this thing will be there, okay? And all of these shortcuts are already there by default, right? Some of them I only created, some of them I did not create, but okay. Right? So this is how you access the keyboard shortcuts. So what is the benefit of this? What is the use? Why am I even talking about this keyboard shortcuts and all, right? So we'll talk about this. Just know that you can access keyboard shortcuts like this. Okay? Now we'll talk about more terminologies first. Okay? So as we just finished talking about keyboard shortcuts ka thing, we'll be talking more about it when a particular command comes. But right now, let's talk about more terminologies, right? What are the more terminologies? So first thing which I want to talk about is ripple delete. What is ripple delete? What is the meaning of ripple delete? Right? Basically, ripple delete stands for deleting the highlighted section and shifting the gap, shifting the entire footage so that the gap is filled. I'll just explain you what it means. So basically, imagine that this is the footage that we have. Okay? This points to this point. This is the highlighted part. Okay? What is this? This is the highlighted part. Ripple delete means that we are deleting this. Okay? Once we delete this, what happens? We'll have this and we'll have this. So beach mein we'll have a gap, right? So ripple delete means that we are deleting the highlighted part and we are shifting this right side ka footage towards left so that the gap is filled. So final footage will look like this and this, right? This will be shifted towards us. This is the meaning of ripple delete. So I'll just show you how to, how it actually works, right? For example, so imagine we have this is the footage, right? मैंने razor tool ले लिया, ठीक है? I clicked on this part. आ गया, I clicked on this part, ठीक है? Now we had, we edited, we cut the footage, ठीक है? Now I'm cutting it here, I'm cutting it again here, ठीक है? Basically I cut down the middle वाला footage, ठीक है? Now what I'll do is I'll select this, ठीक है? मैंने select कर लिया था, then I'm clicking on back, which is like the delete section, and then I'll right click between this and then click on ripple delete, so which wala section will be deleted. right? This is one of the ways of doing it. So this entire process, it actually took you a lot of steps. Like you actually had to select the in point, you actually had to select the out point, then you had to, trim the in point, trim the out point, select the footage, you delete the footage, and then right click between the space, and then you delete it. Okay, all these steps can easily be removed by one thing, which is ripple delete. And imagine I selected the in point over here. Okay, this is my in point. Okay, I'm just clicking on I and in point is selected, and then I'm clicking on O, the out point is selected. Once this is selected, okay, the highlighted part, in point and out point ke beech mein whatever the highlighted part is there, if I just click on T, the entire section will be deleted, and right side ka jo bhi footage hai, that will be moved towards left. Okay, that's it. Very simple, right? Now, how do you assign it? You just go to Premiere Pro, you just go to keyboard shortcuts, and then you search for ripple delete. What do you search for? Ripple delete. Okay, you come here, you select it, and then you see I assigned a shortcut T here, right? If you can zoom in, I had a shortcut T. You can also use one more shortcut which they have been suggesting here, but I don't use it. I just use T. Okay, how do you change it? How do you add it? Nothing. You just remove this and you double click here, and then you click on any of the key on here. See, I can also put B. Where is it? B. B is for ripple delete. Okay, B assign ho gaya. Okay, so that's how you do it. Like each of these commands can have one or more keyboard shortcuts. Okay, in this case, just put the keyboard shortcut as T. Okay, and then you click on OK, and that will be selected. For example, now I'm coming back to the screen. I'm clicking I here, so the in point is selected, and then I'm clicking on, I'm going here, and I'm clicking on O. The out point is selected. So this beach wala thing, this is the highlighted part. If I click T here, that will be removed. So this is the meaning of ripple delete. Okay, got it? Clarity hai. So now we'll be talking about the next thing, which is ripple trim. Okay, what is the meaning of ripple trim? Simple. You trim the footage from the playhead to the edit point. Okay, I'll just show you what it is. For example, you have, okay, imagine we have, this is the footage, right? This is the footage that we have on the timeline. Imagine here is my playhead, right? Here is my playhead. Okay, you trim the footage from here till the next edit point. Next edit point is here, right? This is my next edit point. For example, my playhead is here, my playhead is here, and my next edit point is here. Okay, now there is one of the major shortcuts which can ripple trim this. Basically, trimming everything from the point till the next point. For example, till the next edit point. Okay, I'll just show it on the diagram for you, so that will be easier for you to understand. Okay, what ripple trim is basically, imagine you have a footage from here to here. Okay, and then here we have next footage. So this is video 1, this is video 2. Okay, now what ripple trim does is, imagine you have your playhead here. Okay, this is the playhead that you have. So what ripple trim does is, it will delete everything. Okay, it will delete everything. Imagine you have one more footage here, this is V3. Okay, it will delete everything from the playhead to the next edit point, either this or this. समझ रहे हो? तो all this will be deleted. Okay, and this footage will come to here. For example, it will look like this, and इधर से cut हो जाएगा. ठीक है, and A's जो भी footage है, that will come here. So this is how it will look like. And similarly, if you do the ripple trim towards left side, what happens is, here जो भी इधर है, ठीक है, this is the playhead. This is the playhead that we have. Now if you perform ripple trim, everything which is present between the playhead till the previous edit point, this will be deleted. Okay, so basically it's just that trim from playhead to the edit point, trim from the playhead to the next edit point or the previous edit point. Especially there are two shortcuts. The first one is trim from the playhead to the previous edit point, which means basically ki, imagine if this is the footage that you have. Okay, if this is the footage that you have, here is the edit point. Edit point is basically the place where you have cuts. Okay, if imagine this is the edit point and you have your playhead here. Okay, this is the playhead. Playhead is, as we already discussed, is that the blue line which is there. Okay, which shows what is there onto the current scene. Okay, so now what happens is that everything which is present between the playhead to the previous edit point will be deleted if you click on Q. Okay, and similarly everything which is there between the playhead to the next edit point, like the next edit point, like which is there on the right side, this will be deleted if you click on W. Okay? A shortcut you'll have, this is the custom shortcut, and you'll actually have to save this, store this. So I'll just show you how to do it. Okay? So basically you go to Premiere Pro, you go to Premiere Pro, you click on keyboard shortcuts, and then if you come here, okay, here what you'll have to do is you'll have to search for ripple trim. What you'll have to search for? You'll have to search for ripple trim. Okay? TRIM. Okay? So here you have two things. The first thing is ripple trim next edit to the playhead, which is W. Okay? So basically anything which will be there towards right side of the playhead will be deleted. For example, if here is the playhead, okay, everything which is present between the playhead and the next edit point will be deleted if you click on W. Okay? That is the meaning of ripple trim. Okay? That is the meaning of ripple trim next edit to the playhead. And similarly, ripple trim previous edit to the playhead. You won't be having it, so you'll have to create it. So if you have something else over here, all you have to do is double click here and click on W, and W will be selected, and once that is done, you click on OK, it will be done. So now let me demonstrate it. Okay? So imagine I got my playhead here. Okay? Now I want to delete everything which is present between the playhead and my previous edit point. Right? This is one more edit point. I want to delete the space, this space. Right? This is what I want to delete. Right? So what I'll click on Q. Okay, what I'll click on? I'll click on Q. If I click on Q, what happened is that this was deleted, like from here. Okay, everything which was present between the playhead and the previous edit point, it was deleted. See, I'm clicking on Q, and that's deleted, and it's being shifted to the left. Okay. In a similar way, imagine I want to delete everything which is present between the playhead and the next edit point. For example, so imagine I'm putting my playhead over here, and my next edit point is here, right? This is my next edit point. This point is my next edit point. So imagine I want to delete everything which is there between the playhead and my next edit point. What I'll do is I'll just click on W, and that will be deleted, and all the footages will be simultaneously shifted. Okay? So this is the meaning of ripple trim. Okay? What is the meaning of this? This is the meaning of ripple trim. Okay? Ripple trim aa gaya. Ripple trim, previous edit point, next edit point. Take a very simple things. Now the next thing which we have to talk about is add edit. What is the meaning of add edit? Simple, nothing but you're just adding the edit, you're just placing a cut. And how do we usually do it? You do it by basically coming to this razor tool, and then you come here. Where is this razor tool? Razor tool ko select kar liya, you come here, you click on it, so either add edit ho gaya, right? Now there's a shortcut for this, not a default shortcut again. This is a custom shortcut. So what you have to do is you go to Premiere Pro again. You come to keyboard shortcuts, and then you search for add edit. Okay? Add edit ke liye, one of the custom shortcuts that I made is F. Okay? If this is by default there for you, well and good. If you don't, just double click over there and click on F, and then click OK. Okay? Now what can be done is, for example, here I am. I don't need to go to the razor tool, cut it, and do all of these things. Instead of that, what I can just do is, if I'm here, okay, I can just click on F and the cut will be made. Simple. Magic, right? Okay. So basically add edit is for making the cuts and trimming and all of these things instead of going back to the razor tool. Okay. And now one more thing is duplicating the footages, right? Duplicating, like how do we duplicate? For example, we want the same footage to be played again and again, right? How do we do it? Very simple. Imagine here is a footage, right? Here is a footage. I'm just selecting it. थोड़ा सा right side पे move कर रहा हूँ मैं, ठीक है? So if I actually have to duplicate this footage again, ठीक है? Play it again or something like that. What I'll do, if you're on Mac, you need to click on Option, ठीक है? Option button that you have, and you drag it to the right, ठीक है? दो बन गया. For the same video, you got it twice. This is how you duplicate. And similarly, if you're on Windows, you'll have to click on Alt, Alt, and then you need to drag it again. Okay? That's how you duplicate footages. And now, one more thing which I was talking about is enabling and disabling the footages, right? How do we enable, how do we disable all the footages and all those things? So if you're on Mac, okay, what is the meaning of enabling and disabling? For example, I can come here. Imagine my playhead is here. Okay, मैंने playhead पे आ गया. I put my playhead here. If I click on this I वाला button, ये vanish हो जाएगा, right? Instead of this is just vanishing the footage. Instead of this, what you can do is you can click on Shift, Command, and E. That will be disabled. Like now the footage won't be there. So there's a difference between you toggle track. So we'll be talking about this entire section later, as I previously mentioned. But abhi ke liye, just remember that making the footage invisible, ठीक है, making the footage invisible and disabling and enabling the footage are not exactly the same, ठीक है, not exactly the same. अभी के लिए just keep that in mind, ठीक है. Now if you have to enable the footage, you'll have to click on Shift Command and E. Again I'm clicking on Shift Command E again, it got disabled. So enable, disable by Shift Command E, ठीक है. Now if you're on Windows, you'll have to click on Shift Control and D, ठीक है, Shift Control and D, ठीक है. Now the next thing is how do you just move audio and video tracks? I already mentioned in the previous video itself कि यार sometimes if you click on this, both the video track and the audio track will be selected, right? If you have to do that, if you have to change that, what you'll have to do is you need to select that, right click, and there'll be an option called, where is this? Unlink. Okay, click on unlink, then you'll be able to move the audio layer and the video layer and the audio layer separately. Okay, that's how you do it. So I guess that is it. बहुत ज़्यादा बात कर लिया मैंने. I mean, we talked a lot about keyboard shortcuts. We talked about the interface because I really felt the previous class. In the previous class, we just rushed a lot in terms of like the panels, windows, shortcuts, and all of these things. So I just wanted to take one more session in which I don't just talk about the keyboard shortcuts, but I also talk about the Premiere Pro ka basic interface and all of these things, right? So I guess that is it. We've talked a lot about a lot of terminologies, a lot of new things that you have learned. This class is a bit academically heavy, right? Because there's not like a lot of practical advice which is there except for the keyboard shortcut. Keyboard shortcuts are still good, but still this panels, windows, workspaces, all of these things, you just have to remember it. It's fine even if you don't remember. I've kept telling this like 5 times in the same class right now, but take it, you get the point, right? I know this class is very technical in nature, but take it. The next class is going to be very good, I guess. We'll talk about the next class in like 5 to 10 seconds, but before that, let me just revamp whatever I told. I mean, just reiterate what I told. See, we talked about the Premiere Pro interface, which includes what are the panels, what are the windows, what are the workspaces, what are different type of workspaces, how you disable a panel, how can you get a panel pura onto the screen, how can you just vanish panel, you can move the panels, all of these things, and if you mess up at any point of time, how can you get all the panels back? That's what we talked about, right? And uske baad what we discussed some terminologies like what is ripple trim, what is ripple delete, what is in and out points, what are markers, what is mark in, what is mark outs, and all of these things. And after that, what we discussed was how can we assign keyboard shortcuts. So how do we assign keyboard shortcuts? You go to the Premiere Pro tab, you click on it, there'll be keyboard shortcut option. Each of the commands will have 2, okay, 1 or 2. At like maximum number of keyboard shortcuts that you can have for individual command is 2, okay? So if one will already be there by default, if there is there, and the second thing you can add or you can modify, okay? How do you modify? You just click on the same thing and you click on, if you want T to be the shortcut, you click on T and then you click OK, that's it, ho gaya. That's how you add keyboard shortcuts. And we added keyboard shortcuts for ripple trim, we added keyboard shortcut for ripple delete, we added keyboard shortcuts for in and out points, we added keyboard shortcuts for enabling, disabling, duplicating Mac, and then we added keyboard shortcuts for adding the edit, which is F, okay? So these are the things which we actually did in this lecture, okay? And I guess if this is the first time that you're editing on Premiere Pro, I really want to tell you that, okay, this is just your 3rd class. Don't worry if you're not able to pick up. Take the help of your mentor and we'll be sending you one more assignments. After this class gets over, you'll also be getting some flashcards based upon what are the keyboard shortcuts that you have to put. Okay? So we are trying our best to give you the best possible resources. Taki, for example, you can just open your flashcards on your mobile itself and start editing. You don't actually need to remember all the keyboard shortcuts that we actually discussed in this video because you'll anyways be getting the flashcards which we will be giving. Okay? So I guess that is it. That is all about the interfaces and everything, okay? The next class, I promise, is going to be very good. It's going to be about the most important thing which a lot of people miss, right? A lot of new video editors, a lot of beginner video editors, they make a mistake of one thing, which is not setting the pacing right for a video, okay? And that's what we are going to discuss in the next lecture, okay? So basically we will be discussing about storytelling formats. What are the different storytelling formats? How can you hook the audience? How can you do this? How can you make the audience stick till the end of the video? How should you pace the video? What are the sine curves and cosine curves for the pacing of the video and all of these things? Like next class is going to be good. Oh. Yeah, one thing which I want to tell you before I leave this class is that remember the keyboard shortcuts for a couple of things, at least the 5 things, which is Q, E, F, I, and O. Remember this. This is going to change your life. This is actually going to help you fasten your edit. So if you can tell me what is Q, what is W, what is I, what is O, can you answer? Okay. So with that being said, that is it. Next class I'll meet you. I'll see you. We'll be talking about pacing of the video. We'll be talking about storytelling. We'll be talking about. Bye.